Hey guys, here at OSReviews.com. Today we're giving you our first look video review of the Nikon Coolpix 4600 series. Now this is, we're basically doing another retro video, a past look at another device that's been launched already. It's interesting to see how camera technology has evolved throughout the years, and we've done a few videos of retro devices from the Tiger R Zone to other devices that we've seen already, but this is another interesting camera concept that kind of revolutionized Nikon Coolpix lineups, because it's one of the first Nikon Coolpixes to ever come out from Nikon's camp. And we'll take a look at the design. Now, nothing has actually surprisingly changed that much in terms of the aspect of Nikon Coolpixes are usually, a lot of their models are gray in color. I know there's a few red colors, but this is a more monotone, more standard design. And in terms of the screen, of course, it's LCD on the back, and there's a viewfinder. I'll talk about that in a second. So from the specs department, this isn't very fancy at all. It's around 3, is it 3 megapixel or 5? I think it's 5 megapixels, and it's got a 3 times digital zoom. It also takes video shots or video playback shots, or also takes cameras, of course, camera pics. However, there is no microphone built in, which means that if you use the 4600, there's not going to be any sound when you're recording video, which is unfortunate. It takes SD cards, and it's actually a really small camera, especially for its time. Even around 2002, it's very tiny for that age. Like if you've got something like an iPod Touch, I've got an iPod Touch right here, and you can see that in contrast, it's still a very small camera. It's going to be, of course, pretty thick, but it's very box-like, which is pretty cool, pretty neat, and remains something that is still kind of relevant in the camera industry. It's very cute. We also got a nice grip, so when we're holding this camera on our right hand, we can also hold this grip. We've got a xenon flash. We also have an indicator for, of course, for self-timers. Of course, a lens protector there. The bottom, it's going to be the battery compartment where you put in the battery, and you slide, and we slide out. It takes 2 AA batteries. Battery life is okay. It's on the short side, as you might expect, because there's not a lot of rechargeable batteries back then. There's a tripod stand. This device is made in Indonesia, so it's not made in Japan like older Nikon models are. It's still a digital camera. So there's a video out cable here on the side for video out. And there's also an SD card slot on the right-hand side for SD card. It's spring-loaded for expandable memory. A lanyard cord on the top. It's going to be an on-off button. And speaker grill. There's also a camera shutter, 2-stage camera shutter button key. Now, one of the older Nikons all have this viewfinder, which is, in my opinion, still a feature that a lot of cameras should have. A lot of digital cameras are just putting these super large LCD screens, and they're getting rid of these viewfinders, which I think it's a shame, because a lot of people have different tastes, and having 2 cameras, maybe getting rid of these controls a little bit, but extending the LCD, but also keeping this feature, I think is something that's pretty important for photographers. Some people really prefer that. As you can see, it's a pretty good viewfinder. It's not a digital one, which means that you're not going to have like a lot of modes and settings. It's not like a second screen in here. It's not mirroring what you see from the LCD. So it's basically just a clear glass showing that what you can see on the front. So you have a basic carousel of different features, including your snapshots, your sports views, your scenery selections. We have an autofocus indicator and a flash indicator. Now, one of the biggest downfalls of the 4600s was that the flash took a long time to recharge. After we took a camera shot, we have to wait a few seconds, like 3 seconds. We can't let go until the camera fully takes a shot. So you need to be kind of stable your hands for that. So some people who are more novice in taking cameras and pictures did not like that feature at all. So it's a little slow for that. There's also the regular camera mode and the video mode. There's also a zoom key, which is fairly consistent in most cameras these days, a menu key, a playback, an erase, and of course we have a D-pad for selecting OK for all these various screens. The LCD is actually pretty small, and we've actually have a little bit spots on here, but it's fairly small, and it's very low resolution. There's a lot of pixelation going on, but once we uploaded our pics to computers, we could really see how our pictures took. Now, a wrap-up of the results of this camera, which we've actually retested now. Camera shots are surprisingly decent. Even in low light conditions, if you're really stable with your hands, you don't move it, the camera shots came out very bright, very crisp, and color saturation was good, and there's not a lot of deformation in terms of shapes, and there's not a lot of pulling, like making people look more wide or more tall as they really are. It's very natural to the real life scenarios. However, as the condition dimmed, the light dimmed, you have to be super stable. You can't shake a tiny bit or the photos will come out fuzzy, which was a troublesome part. However, once we use the flash, even nighttime pics look like daytime pics. The flash is very powerful, surprisingly, for such a small camera. So overall, it's still a pretty surprisingly decent camera perhaps for some younger kids or for people. If you still find one of these, it's not necessarily an extinct device. Just video quality, though, is very poor, very shaky. And also video quality, there's no microphone, so it's going to be a very lacking experience there. But for basic pics, it's still better than any camera can deliver, which is something that we didn't expect for something like 2001, 2002 technology. So still very impressive in terms of that. So pretty interesting. Nikon Coolpix 4600, a very boxy small camera that happens to deliver, even average pictures in today's standards. So let's take a look at that. You can still find our original review for this camera on our website at OSReviews.com, and it's still there. And we did upload and refresh our ratings for that a little bit, but find out what we thought back then. And thank you for watching this video review, Retro Relu, and at OSReviews.com. Thank you for watching.